Okay, thank you, Sean. Hey, I'm sorry that you were feeling bad for a whole week and a half. There's this nasty thing going around called the flu, not COVID, but the flu. And it's kicking people's butt. And you'll have a fever, and some people don't even have a fever. So, but Sean is recovering. My business partner, Kenneth, he was down for almost 2 weeks. My friend Ray was down for 2 weeks. It is a really, it's a killer. So please be careful. And if you start to get it, just a hint of it, start taking ivermectin and what's that?
Hydrochloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine. I just said that right for the first time. I like to make word cloxy, whatever. But we're really lucky because we can go over to Mexico and get our drugs. And yes. So somebody was saying, you take drugs from Mexico? Yes. They're made by Johnson & Johnson usually. And somebody was telling me, but Jack, anyway, the cat. And so somebody was telling me, oh, it's going to have fentanyl in it. I'm like, oh my God, you need to get a grip. All right. Spare me.
It's the same drug.
It's the same drug.
You just pay more for them over here.
Yes, we pay more for them over here because we like to pay more for shit because, we're the United States and we've been taken advantage of by our own country. But to go on, I want to tell you something that's happened to me this week and our last week. I have been trying to sell this piece of property for a very long time, and due to circumstances beyond my control, due to the city, the people that are buying it, I've had 4 deals fall through. If anybody's interested in 27 acres of beautiful prime land for development, I've got it. Please contact me and I'll get my realtor to contact you. And so I've been pretty upset with the people at the city. I mean, really upset. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just going to adjust the lights. You keep going.
Okay. Sean's going to adjust the lights on me to make hope.
Hi, TikTok. You got quite a few people watching.
Hi, TikTok.
You can't see your comments right now this time, but next time we'll do it. But we're filming a podcast, so we just want to do it live too.
Yeah, so we're doing everything live, and as you know, this is my learning curve. So Lord knows what could happen. Okay, people on podcasts. Oh, I feel so camera. It's a good thing I'm not camera phobic. Is there such a thing as a camera phobic?
Yeah.
What's it called? No, I'm not that. No. Okay. So I have been, let's just say that I have not had peace, and I've been thinking about stuff which is not like me, because my mother used to tell me, take your troubles to the Lord and leave them there. Well, when you're little, I can remember her telling me, now, Janie, you need to take your troubles to the Lord and leave them there. And I can remember thinking, well, I don't want trouble. And I can do that. And so I've been really good at taking my troubles to the Lord and leaving them there. But as you get older, things come up. And so with these 4 deals that have fallen through, I mean, it's pretty disheartening because I need to pay bills, I need to pay banks. And so I have been pretty angry at the people that have caused me a lot of this discomfort. And sometimes I get ahead of myself and I don't cuss at anybody. I'm just really sarcastic and kind of tacky, and I can be mean, and I don't mean to be mean. So I went to the city and I said some things to people, and I was a menace. I wasn't, I didn't cause a scene or anything, but it was enough scene that I shouldn't have done that. So, and I called people names and told them that they were incompetent, which probably isn't a good thing either. Anyway, so God's really good to me, and I have a friend that I'm in Rotary Club of Edinburgh, and a friend of mine that I used to be his communication teacher was sitting at my table. His name is Joel, and he's been praying for me, and he prays with his kids. Can you believe that? Isn't that cool? He prays with his kids before school, and he's been praying for me with my business and my spectacular man that I'm looking for. Well, not really looking, but if he appears, you got to kind of hit me on the head. But so we've been talking about my businesses, and he said, "Jane, do you have peace?" And the pastor today talked about peace. You need to have peace. And then if you say, no, I don't have peace, and then the next question is, hey, why don't you have peace? Well, I can tell you that I wasn't sleeping very well. I very seldom get depressed. I mean, I very seldom am down or just, I just don't want to talk to anybody and cocoon in. And it's part of me. I cocoon in. So as God would have it, I made a little trip down to the city, and as he always does, he always puts the right people that I need to apologize to in my path. And I apologize to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7, but we'll just say 8. I apologize to 8 people.
Right.
And let me tell you, I was very sincere about it. I said, and then, people always say, well, you don't have to do that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And they thanked me. He goes, thank you, Jane. That means a lot. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I was awful, and I shouldn't have been that way. And so one of the people in engineering, and then the planning, and a whole bunch of people. And so I was talking to them, and he said, Jane, don't talk to anybody else. Come talk to me. And he was head of engineering. And I said, well, okay, I'll talk to you. And we sat down, and he said, this is what you can do with this property to make it more sellable. And I said, well, thank you. And he was going, you don't have to apologize. Oh, yes, I do. I have not been kind. And so he said, well, he goes, my office is always open to you. Always. And he says, it's because I like you, which was, I'm always amazed when I'm awful. And then somebody goes, well, that's okay. I still like you. Why don't you slap me or something instead of going, well, it's okay. I still like you, or I like you. And it's amazing how after I did that, I came back and I have slept better. I am not as concerned as I was. Can you tell I'm not as concerned as I was? I mean, I call Sean, and I was just beside myself. I was just, my claws are on the ceiling, and I was just beside myself. So now I have apologized to them. And somebody goes, do you need to apologize to anybody else? I'm like, well, I don't know. Usually God puts it in your mind, right? And or as he does to me, he gives me the opportunity and puts people before me that I'm supposed to apologize to. So, but you have to be sincere about it. You just can't be, oh, hey, man, I'm sorry. No.
Say hi to TikTok.
Hey, TikTok. If you need to apologize to anybody, I suggest you put down your phone and go find them.
We're getting a lot of views right now.
Oh, good. How nice.
Explain to everyone, we're just filming a podcast.
Okay, we're filming a podcast, and this is the first time. This is the first time I've been live, isn't it?
TikTok.
First time. Oh my gosh, I'm going to need a cigarette after all this. I wasn't. They didn't tell me how it was going to be. What?
The first time we're filming. Not the first time we're filming the podcast, but the first time we're going live on TikTok while we're filming.
Okay, so there we go. So, anyway, so if anybody knows anybody that needs to buy some property in South Texas and McAllen, I have it. And I just want you to know that when you are really sincere and you do apologize, it's really not, it doesn't hurt. The person that you need to apologize to, sometimes they don't even register it. I mean, they don't even know that, and then when you come and apologize, they're like, oh, hey, don't do that. And you're like, oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. And I've had to have my hat in my hand, and I've had to eat several crow. Y'all know that saying, eat crow? Okay. For all you young people, because I'm so old, when you eat crow, that means that you're swallowing your pride, and you have to humble yourself. And it's scripture, you humble yourself before God, and it's amazing how much better you feel. And I mean, we get mercy and grace, and everyone needs mercy and grace. Some of us need more, and at that time, I need a whole lot. So what else can I say? Sean, you have this look on your face.
Oh, you just got good things going on TikTok. For your first one, you're not doing too bad. People are liking and sharing.
Oh, really? Because they say, who is this crazy older woman that's sitting in this floral couch with her black ninja outfit on? Look, this will crack you up. Look, I even match. Is that hilarious? I've got little sparklies, my Ugg shoes, my shoe of choice, because my feet are always cold, even though it's beautiful outside. It's probably 75, 78. It's almost 80. It's absolutely beautiful here. And I'm sitting here with a sweatshirt on because I was cold. And so, but in the podcast, I can also tell you where I've had to apologize again. This goes into my third marriage. And my second, I've been married 3 times, okay? And the first one was not his fault. It was all me. The second one was him. And it was both. Anyway, there's no fault. It's just that we're crazy, okay? And women are crazy, men are crazy. But so the second one I was having a hard time with, because, you think you're a failure, you think you're all this kind of stuff. So a friend of mine said, Jane, you need to go talk to someone. And I'm all for talking to people. If you have got problems, if you have a death that you can't deal with, if you have anything like that, find somebody that you can talk to. And hopefully, I'm hearing this clicking. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. You need to find, hopefully, some kind of Christian counselor or some kind of spiritual leader. Hopefully it's not a cult, but you never know. But somebody that you can talk to about, that has your best interests at heart. So the second marriage, I found this wonderful guy. His name was Ed, and he was an old guy. And he lived in a little bitty trailer, and I drove up there, and he was a Christian counselor. I had no idea what I was doing. So I get out, I go into there, and he says, hi, I'm Jane, and he goes, well, what's this? I said, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to get back with this second husband or if this is it. And he goes, well, God can have a way of sorting things out for you. I'm like, please, I need sorting. So I said, what would you like me? He goes, get on your knees. I'm like, well, that little trailer, man, you're the only one. You never know what that's going to mean. So I got on my knees. And he said, I want you to ask for forgiveness for anything you've ever done. Now, okay, I was in my 20s, 30s. I can't remember how old I was. But, I just read somewhere that the Gen Zs hate it when you say back in the day. But back in the 80s and 70s, people had a lot more fun than they do now. And nobody got upset. So, I never did drugs and I didn't drink, but I was always around people that did, and I was always having fun. Anyway, so he said, you need to ask for forgiveness of what you've done. And I said, well, what if I can't remember? He goes, oh, don't worry. God will put it in your mind. And boy, wasn't that the truth. So I get on my knees and I'm sitting there praying, and I can honestly say I don't know how long I was there. I don't know whatever happened. And so I asked for things that I did, this, that, yawned, and this happened and that happened. I should have done this and didn't. I guess as I'm telling you and TikTok, I have no idea how long I was there. Could have been an hour. It could have been 3 hours. I don't remember leaving. I'm sure I left. And when I left, he says, you'll find out. Just, give it a while. Or, just some. I'm like, okay. So the next day, when you break up with somebody, you always have, usually, you have this, if you see them again, or the longing, or what if I could have done this, the what ifs, and you go through all of that, and you have this, if you see them again, you're going to react. I can honestly say that when I saw him again, for whatever reason, I felt nothing. Nothing. And I mean, I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. It was just like I met somebody, oh, hi, how are you? And I mean, I could talk civilly. It was just like it was gone. It's gone. And it was the most freeing thing ever. And he has passed away since then, but a lot of years in between. But I thought, wow. So asking for forgiveness frees you up of many emotions, many of, where you can think clearly because God helps you do that. Okay, so that was my experience with husband number 2. Fast forward about 40 years. No, not that long. But so I'm married and I've been to counseling. And so my third husband and I, he had to be escorted out, but that's a whole different story. And not, you think, oh, you get beat up. Well, that's a whole nother story too. But no, nobody's ever beat me up. They've scared the crap out of me, but, not like that. So I decided to go to my church because they had a counseling person there. Wow. So I go into this counselor and I'm expecting kind of the same thing as I'd had the first time, which was, he guided me and, we went through things and I asked for forgiveness. You just need somebody to guide you sometimes, because you could do it on your own, but it just, I don't know, it just seems like it's better if somebody holds your hand that cares. Okay? So I go to this counseling at the church and he pulls out this chart. And he sets up this chart like a little, what do you call the little V things? Like a flip chart. And I said, what is this? He said, well, and he starts out and he goes, well, I just want you to know this isn't anything new age. Well, first of all, why would you bring up new age in a Christian counseling session? Didn't you find that odd? And well, first of all, I went, oh no. And then my spidey senses, because sometimes I get a little, and so my spidey senses went off and I said, what? And so he started reading to me. I'm a communications teacher. I can read. You can talk to me. You can explain things to me. You can show me scriptures. But he was flip charting me. And you would fall over, and I lost it. Do not flip chart me. I can't believe you're a counselor. I said, you know what? This is making me really angry. And I don't think this is the result of this is what it's supposed to be, right? You're not supposed to be angry when you leave the counseling session than when you did. And so I left and I was livid. And I can honestly say I'm not really sure what I told him, but I told him that he wasn't a good counselor, which is the truth, but that's not the point. And so he was a pastor and all, and anyway, I left. Well, fast forward, and again, I don't know what the timeline is, but I was still going to the church, back to the church, and he was up, at the end they would have, if you need prayer. So I went, go apologize to him, Jane. You were awful. I mean, I was awful.
What the?
I don't have to cuss at you, but I can chew you up and spit you out in little pieces. And I'm not bragging about that. It's just, I know me. So I went down there and I said, I am so sorry the way I acted. No, and again, no, it's okay. No, I shouldn't have been so rabid. I was rabid. I said, I shouldn't have done that. And I mean, I'm telling you, you need to stick to preaching because you're a pretty good pastor, but don't counsel. Of course, I'm still telling. I said, but I'm very sorry. And I mean, I shouldn't have talked that way to you. I shouldn't have done that. And he was like, well, thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. But it's amazing how much better. I was like, okay, I've done that. I've apologized to my daughter and hunted her down in the school at junior high and found her in the hall. She goes, what are you doing here? I said, well, I was rude to you in the car and I overreacted and I'm sorry. She goes, you chased me down for that? I said, it's important. It's important. Had to do it. She was at a Girl Scout meeting and I'd done something because we're not perfect. But we do overreact sometimes. And so if you sit back and think about your overreaction and you think, there was no reason to do that to that person, but you get caught up in your own emotions and your own craziness, that after you step back a little bit, maybe, just maybe, you need to take your hat in your hand and apologize. So doing it with the city, I have been way more peaceful. And then, of course, the pastor today was like, oh, we're going to talk about peace. Oh, no. Are you kidding me? That just reinforces everything that you think, right? It's just like, are you listening? Hello? I don't know. Sean, do you think that's enough? I think that's plenty for right now. So I know this is a little bit different, but there's, all sides to everybody. So please, if you live in the Valley and you live in the Edinburgh-McAllen area, come to our storage units. Don't we have some specials going on, Sean? We have specials, and come see Marty. We're out here on Russell Road, northwest in McAllen. But if you want to drive further, we'll be more than happy to take your stuff if you want to drive further, which just to come see the facility is a big thing. If you need property, I've got 27 acres. What else can I tell you? Oh, I'm going to plug my Rotary Club. So if I'm going to plug it on March 29th, I think that's a Saturday night, our club is putting on a Bayou Brewfest in Edinburgh, and it's downtown. It's at the amphitheater, and we're going to have Cajun stuff and music, and River Rock band's going to be there, and it's going to be a beer fest. That's why it's called Bayou Brewfest, and you might get to see me in feathers. So I know you're going.
What day is that?
It's March 29th, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's my birthday month.
It's your birthday month? Oh, good. And so Sean, one of my best friends, Trisha, usurped me giving a ticket to Sean.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
But I think she texted it to me.
No, it's a whole thing. We're not. It's with some butter something. I don't know. Anyway, but
What do the tickets mean? Like when you give them out?
we don't give them out. They're going to be on.
Like I got a ticket. So like, what does that mean? Like we all are supposed to invite certain people?
No, you have a ticket to get in the show there. It just, it's like, hey, I got a ticket. But I was going to give a ticket to Sean, and Trisha goes, well, I gave one to Sean because I had one, spare. I'm like, really? Anyway, so please, if you want to go on Edinburgh Rotary Club, you can buy tickets there too. So I think I've pimped out everybody I know.
And plug your own podcast.
Oh, please. Since I'm pimping things out, I feel like my life is just one giant pimp. Please watch Jane, remember the name. Again, ask questions if you want. Find us on TikTok.
We're going to explore doing more TikTok lives because people can ask right then and there.
Oh, so we're going to explore, like Sean said, more TikTok lives since this is my first time. I'm going to need a cigarette after this, but this is my first time. And, but please check out Jane, remember the name, subscribe, like, and share, because, I'm already famous in some circles, but I just think it would be just so fun because I have a wealth of knowledge, and most of it I try to be humble, but it sneaks out sometimes that I'm not. So have a wonderful day, and here's to another great time at Jane Remember the Name.